Naruto Uzumaki, our beloved protagonist, gets a bad rap for not really having a lot of variety in his jutsu arsenal and only spamming Shadow Clones and Rasengans and all that stuff. But today I want to dispel this myth that Naruto only has the Shadow Clone jutsu and Rasengans going for him and that he is actually much more versatile than many people give him credit for. So I'm going to be talking about every single form that Naruto gets over the series, and there are a lot of them, and also the special abilities that those forms have. Starting with his base form in Naruto Part 1. Now, obviously, his base form changes over Naruto Part 1 because Naruto learns several jutsus, but let's go in chronological order, shall we? First jutsu Naruto masters is the Sexy Jutsu, which I guess is very in character for Naruto to master, and then he learns the classic Shadow Clone Jutsu in Chapter 1. Actually, he learns a multi-Shadow Clone Jutsu right out of the bat, so it's pretty insane, actually, because he produces 1,000 clones in Chapter 1, which catapults Naruto to a high Chunin level fighter. Naruto does have some skill with kunai and shuriken. We see, for example, when Zabuza captured Kakashi, that Naruto was able to toss a kunai and release Kakashi from the water prison. Sure, he didn't hit Zabuza in that moment, but that's not really Naruto's objective in that scene. He just wanted Kakashi to be set free. Naruto uses several combinations with his Shadow Clones using taijutsu combos, for example, the Uzumaki barrage he uses to defeat Kiba in the preliminaries of the Chunin exams, and also his fart attack, which pretty much stunned Kiba and allowed Naruto to land his taijutsu combo. Later on, the fight against Gaara, he uses a much more massive clone barrage of 2,000 clones to hit Gaara in his Shukaku form, not the entire Shukaku, but that partial transformation. And Naruto also used the 1,000 Years of Death jutsu on that same Gaara, but unlike Kakashi, who used his fingers to attack Naruto in the bell test, Naruto used a kunai with a paper bomb to attack Gaara's base on the tail, which exploded and was actually a weak point of that version of Shukaku, so that was like a really good thing for Naruto because he got kind of lucky and he just kind of remembered, oh, Kakashi once shoved his fingers up my rear and let me try and shove a kunai up on Gaara's. And finally, that version of Naruto learns the Rasengan as well in the Search for Tsunade arc, the jutsu that becomes Naruto's most iconic ability, and he uses it in pretty much every fight he participates. We see the Chidori Rasengan clashes all over the series, and we're gonna get several different Rasengan variants. Now let's talk about Naruto's Nine Tails chakra version in Part 1. Not the cloak version, but the version he gets before that, with some orange chakra overflowing out of his body, the whiskers are more pronounced, his eyes are red with slits for pupils, but it's not exactly a tail beast cloak yet. Well, Naruto gets much more physically capable when he gets chakra from the Nine Tails. His taijutsu is increased exponentially. He gets faster, he gets stronger. We see that clearly in the fight against Sasuke in the Valley of the End. When Naruto pulls on the Nine Tails' chakra, Sasuke no longer is able to follow him with his Tomoe Sharingan, and he has to awaken the third Tomoe to get any chance to counter Naruto's attacks, which he managed to do so until Naruto pulls the cloak out. Other than the taijutsu amp, Naruto is able to summon Gamabunta with the Nine Tails' chakra, which he used in the Chunin exams to fight a full Shukaku, and pretty much win the fight. I mean, he just had to wake Gaara up. He didn't actually defeat Shukaku for real, but that was really impressive nonetheless. And yes, technically base Naruto also has the ability to use the summoning jutsu and recall toads from Mao Miyaboku, but the toads that Naruto in base recalls are absolutely puny and pathetic. The best he can manage in Part 1 is Gamakichi, and Gamakichi is not gonna help you in any fights. Moving on to the one tail cloak version that Naruto uses in Part 1 against Sasuke in the Valley of the End when Sasuke used the Curse Mark Stage 2. We start to see here something that's very common for the Nine Tails' variations, which is the extension of chakra limbs that Naruto uses to attack, grapple, and control the battlefield with. He uses his chakra to surround Sasuke, to grab Sasuke, and then pull Sasuke towards him, landing a massive punch on him. The cloak grants him a lot of protection. Sasuke landed a massive fireball jutsu on Naruto with that cloak, and it didn't do anything to him whatsoever. The cloak just tanked the damage entirely. And we actually see something kind of similar to that in their last fight in Naruto Shippuden when Naruto's cloak tanks an Amaterasu attack, but let's not get ahead of ourselves. Naruto's one tail cloak also gives him much more speed and physical prowess, just like every single time Naruto gets an amp from the Nine Tails. And also he gets his first Rasengan variant with the Vermilion Rasengan, which he uses against Sasuke's Onyx Chidori in the Valley of the End, in probably the coolest and most iconic shot in the Naruto series, in the clash between Naruto and Sasuke in their transformed states. Moving on to Naruto Shippuden Shippuden and Naruto's base form there. Right after the time skip, we see that Naruto's learned much more about ninja tools such as shurikens and kunais. In the second bell test, for example, he managed to summon a massive shuriken, which he does it again when he encounters Deidara and Sasori in that cave, and tosses the large shuriken at Sasori, but he blocks with his tail. Naruto's also become much more proficient with taijutsu after the time skip, and he learns the Odama Rasengan, a more powerful and destructive variant of the normal Rasengan, which he uses against Itachi's body double. Now, technically, he had Ninetales' whiskers and eyes when he used that jutsu, but he learned that jutsu in base, so it's not that he needed the Ninetales' chakra to perform that jutsu, it's just that his emotions were running high, and that's why he had the Ninetales' chakra on him. But he could have done the jutsu without it. Later on, base Naruto learns the Rasen Shuriken, and even though base Naruto never learns how to toss the Rasen Shuriken, he can still land it on melee, which he uses to defeat Kakuzu, and that's a very powerful jutsu. The Rasen Shuriken becomes another one of those staple jutsus that Naruto uses throughout the series, and it's another Rasengan variant. Let's go! We don't see base Naruto using a lot of summonings in the series, unfortunately, in Naruto Shippuden, but we have to at least assume he's got a little bit better at summoning toads, not just tiny little toads in his base form, probably something a little bit bigger. And with Kakashi's Rasen Shuriken training, Naruto also learns how to use his shadow clones more strategically, how to use them to gather intel and to analyze the opponent's movements so you can come up with counters and strategies to defeat your opponent. Eventually, Naruto learns how to produce massive Rasengans with his base form as well. For example, the Rasengan he first landed on Madara with the help of Inoki thrusting Madara up when he just arrived to fight against the Alliance was in base. And that was a very large Rasengan, but obviously the Naruto in the war arc is far more powerful than the base version in the beginning of Naruto Shippuden. Now, I'm not really gonna talk about 2 and 3 Tails version 1 Cloak Naruto because they pretty much have the same things that the first Tail would have, just in a heightened state. They're more powerful, obviously, but it wouldn't be very different. Things change when Naruto acquires the 4th Tail, and we see that for the first time in the fight against Orochimaru. Naruto still has the ability to extend his limbs and attack his opponents from far away, extending the chakra and slashing at them, which works really well against Orochimaru there, but this time it's that much more powerful because the chakra is much denser. Also, the 4-tail version 2 Ninetales is able to produce kind of a clone of himself and attack Orochimaru from behind, cutting him in half. I don't even have to mention that this version of the Ninetales is much stronger than any previous versions. When Naruto was punching the ground kind of casually, he was opening craters in the forest and exploding everything around him. This version also had a much tougher skin. The chakra surrounding Naruto was very dense, and Orochimaru couldn't even pierce him with his Kusanagi blade, meaning that the version 2 Ninetales' chakra cloak is actually pretty powerful. And obviously, he got the Bijudama, one of the most explosive abilities in the Naruto series. The first time we see that is when 4-tails Naruto shoots it against Orochimaru. He has to summon a triple Rashomon to protect himself, and it almost wasn't enough. So extremely powerful, and I guess you could also say that whenever Naruto attacked somebody with that version and slashed someone, his chakra acted kind of like a poison. When he attacked Sakura, for example, she couldn't heal her wound properly because the chakra infected her, which is that much more debilitating if somebody gets hit by a version 2 attack. Now, moving on to his Sage Mode version, and this is when Naruto starts to get a lot of new powers. First, Naruto gets extremely durable, being able to essentially punch through Pain's rods and just break them with his bare hands. Also, the sheer strength Naruto gets, being able to toss Pain's Rhino hundreds of meters up in the air, being able to one-shot Paths of Pain with a single punch, and also his amped sensory capabilities are very notable Sage Mode amps that anybody that gets Sage Mode is going to acquire. Naruto is also able to summon several massively powerful toads, such as Gamabunta, Gamakichi, Gamakin, Fukasaku, and Shima, and all those toads have abilities that can help Naruto a lot, especially Fukasaku and Shima with their genjutsu. Naruto also masters Frog Kumite, aka his frog taijutsu, which he harnesses the sage energy around him and his surroundings and uses it to punch and attack his opponents without them really seeing. So Naruto has to toss punches, and even if Naruto misses, the sage energy is gonna hit them instead. This is how he takes out the Preta Path in the Naruto vs. Pain fight. At least in the first time, because he had to take the Preta Path out twice. Naruto learns how to toss the Rasen Shuriken, making it probably one of the strongest ranged attacks in the entire series, arguably even more dangerous than a Bijudama. It's a different type of damage, but equally dangerous, I would say, and he can launch massive Rasengan barrages in Sage mode. Take a look at the fight against the Ninetales in Naruto's Inner Realm, for instance. He used dozens of ultra massive Sage mode Rasengans to attack the Ninetales, and that was a very epic scene. Moving on to Naruto's Six Tails version 2, he gets bones around his body, which I suppose makes him more durable, and obviously he gets stronger and faster in that version than the Four Tails, but he doesn't really get anything new. The same thing goes for the Eight Tails version, which is stuck in the Chibaku Tensei. The Nine Tails, his body gets muscles around it and almost gets skin, but then again, Naruto doesn't do anything different with it. He didn't even shoot Bijudamas in that version. The next form Naruto learns is KCM-1 after he defeats the Nine Tails in his Inner Realm. Naruto gets a lot of new stuff with KCM-1. First, he gets absurdly fast. So fast that he's able to compete against the fastest living ninja, the fourth Raikage, when Naruto and Bee escape from the Turtle Island and they're intercepted by the Raikage and Tsunade. Naruto's kind of casually keeping up with him, which is pretty impressive, and he dodges a full force attack thrown by the fourth Raikage at his full speed. So obviously KCM-1 gives him a massive speed boost unlike anything he's ever gotten. He can also use chakra limb extensions just like in every other Ninetales' form, but in here he can actually combine them with Rasengans, pulling people into his Rasengan, just like he does against White Zetsu's in the War Arc. He's able to attack much more effectively with those chakra limbs as well. He can extend his chakra limbs and land Rasengans on people that way. He can extend his chakra limbs and catch a Rasen Shuriken, for example, just like he does in the fight against the third Raikage. He learns the mini Rasen Shuriken, which exists for whatever reason. Naruto also learns the planetary Rasengan, which is a really cool looking Rasengan with a larger Rasengan in the middle and small Rasengans kind of floating around it as though they're orbiting around a planetary system, which is, I guess, why the name is Planetary Rasengan. And he's also able to sense the evil intentions of people around him. That's what he uses to fight against the White Zetsu, who are transformed into people that are fighting for the Alliance. KCM-1 is also very durable. He takes a lot of punishment. Han, for example, lands a massive kick on him. He's able to casually just hold swords by their blades and not get cut by them. When he saves Hinata, for example, from White Zetsu attacks. So yeah, KCM-1's pretty damn powerful. The next form is going to be KCM-2, when he befriends the Nine Tails and evolves his chakra control over the Tail Beast. I mean, it's not even a chakra control anymore, they're just sharing and helping each other out. The first and most basic ability he gets in this version is the ability to break free of any genjutsu, almost any genjutsu at least, because the Nine Tails can shake his chakra off. The only exceptions for that would be Tsukiyomi or Kodo Matsukami, for example, these extremely strong genjutsus that you cannot just simply break out of. Obviously, that's not all though. Naruto learns the Bijudama. He can use the Bijudama kind of like a Rasengan in the mini Bijudama, which will explode you in the face. Kind of like a Rasengan, but just with more destructive power. Or he can toss the Bijudama using his Kurama avatar, which is another ability he gets in this version. He gets access to the Kurama avatar, which is a big deal. He gets massive. He can use the chakra of the Nine Tails to manifest that version of chakra that's extremely powerful, and he was able to fight against 5 tail beasts at the same time and then against the 10 tails. He also gets faster and stronger as per usual, and his control over his chakra limbs seems to be even better now. Also, he can manifest just partial actions of the Kurama avatar, such as just the mouth, which he uses to catch a shuriken that Obito tossed against him, or just the tails to deflect, for example, Obito's fire style. And it also seems like he gets very durable in that form because he deflects 5 Bijudamas from point blank range and he doesn't take any damage whatsoever. They don't even explode on Naruto when he deflects them. Naruto also gets the ability to transfer the Nine Tails' chakra over to other people, which he uses a lot during the war, especially to save the entire alliance from Jubito's Bijudama explosions, because they had the chakra and Minato could teleport them all at the same time. And that chakra also strengthened the entire alliance when they were fighting against the Ten Tails. It was pretty much a Kurama chakra mantle on the entire alliance, which served to make them stronger and also to protect them from attacks. For instance, when Madara used the Ten Tails as Cataclysm, Naruto protected the entire alliance with a Kurama chakra, and the same thing happened when Madara and Obito were tossing massive fire styles jutsus down on the alliance. That was very helpful, you know? Not to mention that it increases the chakra capacity capacity of people that get that chakra and the power of their jutsus. Naruto could also use that massive Rasengan in combination with Minato's Kurama chakra avatar, and that's probably the singular largest normal Rasengan ever produced in the series. The next version is going to be KCM2 Sage Mode Naruto, and to be honest, this version doesn't really bring anything new. It's just a combination of KCM2 and Sage Mode, which yes makes Naruto more powerful, and it allows Naruto to fight against Jubito because otherwise he wouldn't be able to, but he doesn't get any ability that he didn't have before. And the next version is going to be 6th Sage Mode Naruto, which is after Naruto quote-unquote dies after Madara extracts the Nine Tails from him, Hagoromo appears and gives Naruto the powers of the Sage of Six Paths, and also gives Sasuke the Rinnegan. And this is the version that gets the most insane amount of new power-ups. First of all, Naruto gets way faster and stronger than he ever was before, even when he is not using his Kurama chakra. We can see that when he came back from the Kamui dimension and was punching Madara around. He also had very good sensory capabilities with that 6th Sage Mode because he sensed a Limbo clone, which is supposed to be impossible, and he used a super massive Magma Rasen Shuriken on Madara that destroyed the entire Divine Tree and cut Madara a little bit, but it wasn't the worst damage Madara's ever taken. Now, it's not only that, because when Naruto combines his Kurama chakra with his 6th Sage Mode, he gets Guro Damas, aka Truth-Seeking Orbs, which are extremely powerful and can be used in a variety of ways. Unfortunately, Naruto doesn't use that a whole lot, but that's okay. He used the Truth-Seeking Orbs to create a staff, to make Sasuke fly, to tank some Susanoo arrows, to fool Kaguya, but it's not nearly as impressive as what Madara and Obito do with the Truth-Seeking Orbs. Naruto gains access to the chakra of every single tail beast in this form as well, and he uses magnet-style Rasengan using Shukaku's power to try and seal Madara. He also gained the Biju Dama Rasen Shuriken, which he used to counter Madara's massive Chibaku Tensei, and he could produce a bazillion clones in that form. He could also fly, which he just kind of learned on the fly, and he could also make his Kurama avatar fly with him as well. He gained access to the most powerful ninjutsu ability in terms of raw destructive potential according to the data books at least, which is the super massive tail beast Rasen Shuriken combo with the 9 different Rasen Shurikens, one for each tail beast, which he used against Kaguya. And then in the fight against Sasuke, we see that Naruto is able to create shadow clones of his Kurama avatar, which he used to combat Sasuke's Indra Susanoo, and also to use his final attack when he combined 2 shadow clones of the Kurama avatar and incorporated it into his own Kurama avatar to create something that resembled Ashura's avatar back in the day with all those arms. And then he created the 6th supermassive dual Rasen Shuriken, which he used to counter Indra's arrow. Those 2 massive Rasen Shurikens and the Indra's arrow explosion was pretty damn amazing, and it destroyed the entire Valley of the End. Now, Naruto also gets access to the other tail beasts' chakras when it comes to other types of abilities. For instance, he used Vapor Style from the 5 Tails to boost his speed in the fight against Kaguya, and then he uses that chakra scalpel thing in his hand to cut off Kaguya's arm, the arm that was holding Black Zetsu, kind of like what Kabuto used to do with his hand. We're not terribly sure about what jutsu that was, but it was something kinda like what Kabuto used to do back in the day. This Naruto also gets more godlike powers in terms of just healing capabilities. First, he's able to save Guy from dying after he used the 8th gate, which is supposed to kill you no matter what. He touched Guy's heart, and some weird seal appeared around it, which didn't let the 8th gate be extinguished, and therefore Guy didn't die. It also stopped Guy's body from completely degrading. After that, he used that same ability, or something similar to it, to regenerate Kakashi's eye, which Madara had stolen. I mean, Kakashi didn't get a new Sharingan, but he got a new eye, which is better than nothing, I suppose, and then he could use the dual Mangekyo Sharingan because he had 2 eyes. And then, when Obito was being disintegrated by Kaguya's Ashbone, Naruto touched Obito and tried to stop the process of him turning into dust, which worked for a little bit, but eventually Obito just died. I mean, Naruto could stall it for a while, but he couldn't do it forever. And I guess you could say this Naruto would have access to 6th Chibaku Tensei, the jutsu he used in combination with Sasuke to seal Kaguya up. Though he can't use that jutsu by himself, so I'm not sure if it's a really fair one to include here, because I didn't really include the Majestic Attire Susanoo, which he used in combination with Sasuke in his KCM2 version, but that seems a little bit more specific. After all, he can use it because he has the Sun Seal on his right hand. So yeah, I suppose he did have more stuff than just the Rasengan, the Rasen Shuriken, and the Shadow Clones. Subscribe to this channel channel if you haven't already, and like this video to help me with the YouTube algorithm, especially if you like the video. I mean, it helps me out a lot, and it takes just 2 seconds. Please do it. Also, watch this other cool Naruto video right here, and thank you so much for watching.